What is going on YouTube? Smashing Pumpkin here, coming at you guys with a video today. I'm too lazy to get out my tripod or my camera, so I'm just going to do a screen recording, and if you don't like it, I apologize, but laziness greater than my will to make good videos. I'm going to be discussing basically a new idea for spirits. I'm getting a little bit bored of the faster paced spirit decks, the ones that like combo around like the Exceed summoning and like spamming with Nigatama and Artama and Kageto Kage. I feel like those builds are getting like very predictable. So I'm going to be giving this deck a shot. It's an anti-meta deck that I came up with a really long time ago. And I just resurfaced it recently, and it's actually working out pretty decently. So without further ado, I'm going to just jump right into the deck. It plays the standard spirits. The reason why I'm playing 2 Nigatama is because you're not really focused on exceeding as much as, like, that sounds really weird. But most of the time you're just trying to beat in with like Yaksha and Reisetsu just to keep on pushing your opponent back and then controlling the game when they try and go big with creature swap. So Nigatama at 2 actually makes a little bit of sense. It's also kind of just neat, just the new role it has, because it's mainly just used for discard fodder for Izanami to get back your Yakshas and stuff when they get outed. So it is kind of a weird role change for Nigatama, but I feel like it actually works out really well in this deck. You can try it at 3 if you want, but I feel like it should just clog you up a little bit. Yaksha is the most important spirit in this deck, mainly because it freezes essentially your opponent's like battle traps and makes them have to commit to the field more than they'd probably want to. And usually when you have like control of the board and stuff, Yaksha is going to give you like infinite pluses, because your opponent's going to have to waste 2 cards to get rid of him if they're going to be like using like standard stuff. So it's very interesting. One Reisetsu is kind of a very interesting spirit as well. He's not really that great, but his bouncing effect does come in handy a lot because you are playing the 3 Mind Crush and the DD Designator. 1 Maharagari, a very well-rounded in all his matchups, where he doesn't really have very many like advantageous matchups, but he is a level 4, he is exceedable. His effect is actually pretty decent, and it's really good to just side him out for cards that work better in the matchups. Izanami, obvious. Card, you just need to get through more cards, which is the same reason why you play Duality. Creature Swap is for more creature control. You need it in the deck. Your monsters aren't really that big, and the rank 4s that you go into generally aren't that big either. So a way to get really scary monsters off the board and kind of give yourself something is pretty decent. I am playing 1 DD Designator. It combos really well with the bouncing effects that you have in the deck. And yeah, it's basically 4th copy of Mind Crush. You're also going to be playing against a lot of decks that search, which is why Mind Crush is so good in the main. But this card's pretty decent as well. 3 MST, obvious. 3 Mind Crush, because the format is now dictating that you play this card, which is kind of bullshit, but it also works out really well. Scrap Iron Scarecrow. This means that you won't get like killed because you don't really have a whole lot of board presence. And if your opponent's outing your Scrap Iron Scarecrow, generally they're either going to have to win in the next turn or 2, or they're going to get blown out because you're not going to be able to out all the other cards in the deck. Mirror Force, good. Bottomless, good. All the Summon Stoppers are really good. 3 Fiendish Chain. I don't really like 3 Fiendish Chain, but I couldn't really think of another card to put in here. And it blocks attacks, so it's pretty decent. 2 Spirit Invitation. This is the card that kind of made me want to make this deck, because basically whenever your spirit bounces back to your hand, your opponent's monsters also bounce back to their hand. So it means that your opponent's not going to be able to set up a whole lot of 2-turn setups, and there are a lot of cards that your opponent plays that they just don't want back in their hand. This makes Gear players like literally cry, because their Gear armors are never going to resolve, and their synchros and their XYZs that they make are just going to be completely dead. 1 Dust, 2 7 Tools, and Starlight Road. These are just more back row hate, and this is just to stop exitons because you play a hell of a lot of back row. Side deck is kind of under construction right now. Just a bunch of general hate. This is actually really, really good against Geargia. Like, kind of like insanely nuts. And then the extra deck is Stardust for your Starlight Road, and a bunch of the rank 4s that are really good. So, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope this is a new twist on Spirits for you guys. Yeah. Smashing Pumpkin signing out. Peace.